And in this February, we relocate new factory to make more productivity. We pass a lot of the tests like the QMS, the ISO as well, and we have a really specific clean room, and every production staff wearing dust-proof clothing. And then we introduce a lot of machine to make whitening gel more productively. And this is the sales performance of our clinics. This side, White Essence Ginza, is the center of Tokyo and kind of our flagship clinic. This is a really large number, but here is a really countryside clinic, but they have also stable number of profit. The reason why is we try to provide same quality and same services in each clinic. This is our division's model details. When patient comes to make a whitening, we provide counseling every patient. In the counseling, we ask them how much they want to whiten their tooth, and what is the whitening actually, and what is the benefit of whitening. And also, we explain about cleaning as well. Then we make a circle during whitening and cleaning. And during this cycle, sometimes we recommend more profitable menu like orthodontics or other treatments. And also recommend to buy oral care products. We do this cycle in every franchise clinics. This is why they make a stable profit. It's called SAB model. The B is basic, like a treatment for caries or something. When patient comes to treat the caries, we recommend to do whitening after treat caries. Then we also recommend to more profitable treatment after whitening. So after recommendation from us, the patient comes to clinics like making during this S&A cycle. Our franchise clinics really committed this cycle. This is why they really successful. This is an example of before and after their income results. At least 1.3 times increasing after joining our franchise. And some of clinics get more than 4.4 times increasing. And outlook of our franchise, now we have 300 clinics, and we try to make 500 in next 5 years, and 1,000 clinics in next 10 years. And also we will expand all over the world. Now we signed the contract with, of course, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, and Mongolia. And under negotiation with China, Singapore, and Malaysia. Maybe you might think White Essence is a very successful whitening company in Japan, but actually it's not true. White Essence is a successful company for problem solving for dental clinics, because we really know what you concerns for managing dental clinics. This is why we're successful in Japan. I understand Indonesia and Japan is different, really different, but there's a common know-how to succeed. We're willing to provide with you through our distribute the Tomason. So I hope you introduce our product and service to your clinic and get more successful. Now, I pass to Dr. Otsuki. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Koru. Next, we please Mr. Maisuki.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I'm Otsuki from Japan. Now, Japan is midwinter, very cold now, but different from here. So, fortunately, Tokyo almost no snow, but in North area, a lot of snow, especially this year, more than 1 meter, sometimes 2 meter, more than that. So, this picture is snow festival in Sapporo City, North area. And this statue was made by the famous dental technician and his group. So because my tooth is real and mandibular and teeth is very real. And they mentioned beauty comes not only from appearance but from inside. And we love white snow and we love white teeth. It's good. It's very good. So if you have a chance, please come to Japan and enjoy the very cold winter. So first of all, briefly, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Masayuki Otsuki, dentist in Japan. I graduated Tokyo Medical and Dental University in 1984. Many of them was not born at that time. And after receiving the DDS, I studied graduate student called Tokyo Medical Dental University as TMDU. After completing the graduate school and receiving PhD, I have worked as a faculty staff of the TMDU in charge of education, research, and clinic. And last March, I retired as associate professor of TMDU because of the age of 65. It's a rule in Japan. And still now, I'm an adjunct lecturer, the kind of part-time of TMDU, also visiting professor of Matsumoto Dental University. And I had the chance to be an academic advisor for this company. So because why I can be here. And unfortunately, I can say unfortunately or fortunately, TMDU is disappeared because TMDU merged with another university, Tokyo Institute of Technology, and new university was called Institute of Science Tokyo. Today, I'm going to talk about the introduction of white essence whitening tool. Already Mr. Yusa introduced the company of white essence. I'm going to introduce briefly. So, white essence company produce materials and equipment, like of course to whitening key material and light, also scanner or spectrophotometer as OEM, and also they produce oral care goods such as toothpaste, dental floss, or toothbrush. Also, the company's main business is franchise business. Mr. Yusa already introduced. Now franchise clinic is more than 300. It's a quite amazing number. Biggest, of course, biggest in Japan. So today time is limited. So because why I'm sorry. This is a kind of business model strategy of white essence company I have. So starting with whitening, or sometimes starting with professional cleaning by dental hygienist. I heard it's a little bit different from Indonesia because in Japan, of course, sometimes dentists do the whitening or professional cleaning by themselves, but many times dental hygienists do them under the direction of the dentist. Because in Japan, we have a national license system of dental hygienists as well as the dentist, also the dental technician. We have national license systems. Anyhow, so repeating that if patient satisfied, patient visited again and again and again, and at that time, some patient aesthetic treatment such as orthodontics or ceramic restoration or direct bone may be necessary. Also, the dental assistant or receptionist sells home care goods. So that's a kind of cycling, and goal is of course patient happiness. So because our mission of the White Essence company is smile creating industry. It's an idea, but sometimes it's difficult to realize. So time is limited. So because why today I'm just introducing the in office whitening material and White Essence Whitening Pro and whitening light, double light plus 2. I would like to show some cases, but it's not my case. It's from it's courtesy by White Essence Ginza. If you have visited in Japan, maybe you know the Ginza. Ginza is a kind of midtown, like Manhattan in New York or Champs-Élysées Avenue, like in Paris. It's very, what can I say? There are many shops like Louis Vuitton, Rolex, Tiffany. I don't like rich people. My wife likes it, but I don't like it. Anyhow, so Ginza is a kind of flagship, and White Essence Ginza is a kind of flagship clinic. It means a #1 clinic. The courtesy by White Essence Ginza, I'd like to show some first. I'd like to show some cases, clinical cases. This case, the 20th lady, original shade is C3, and only 2 times in one day it turned to H shade up to C1. Of course, she's satisfied and no sensitivity, no pain. And this patient, he used to be received the endodontically treatment of upper central incisor. You can see, but usually it's a contraindication, not indication of the in-office whitening. But he did not want ceramic restoration. Maybe it's not my case, but maybe you can see next teeth restoration is not so good. So because why he didn't want. That's my imagination. But anyhow, so because I suggest dual whitening, so it means in office whitening 5 times and at home whitening 6 months. So it turned to be white. Maybe later, I think he would ask the replacement of next teeth, and also maybe he would ask the treatment of diastema. It's a kind of circulation of the treatment. And this case is much more difficult case. Tetracycline discolored teeth. Usually, of course, it's not indication. It's a kind of middle or heavy. Right color discoloration may be indication, but it's not indication. But the patient didn't want because didn't want ceramic restoration. now many people understand the minimal invasive dentistry, even the patient. So because why? They want to be a white teeth. They want to have a white teeth, but they don't want to cut any teeth. At that time, sometimes there are some limitations, but we must do our best. So because why? The staff suggests dual whitening a little long period. So result is much better, but still there are some banding is remain. It's a kind of limitation. It's a kind of limitation, but it takes a long time, 5 times for 5 months, and at home whitening for 6 months. Shade is much better. I guess maybe patient would ask the dentist to replace this. This silver restoration of posterior maybe. So anyhow, tooth whitening. I heard some Indonesian dentists. Whitening is not so good business for dentists, but it's a kind of starting point, and whitening contributes patient prevention, also increasing the aesthetics. I believe tooth whitening contribute patient healthy and happiness. So I'm going to show the ingredient of white essence whitening glue. It consists of liquid and gel. We must mix before application. So liquid contains 35% hydrogen peroxide, and gel contains a thickener base material, sodium hydrogen carbonate as a pH conditioner, and water. After mixing, the concentration of hydrogen peroxide is 22%. Not so high, but not so low. And of course, hydrogen peroxide is active ingredient in tooth bleaching, as well as other products. And also, important is pH conditioner, sodium hydrogen peroxide. So hydrogen peroxide is not stable. It's easy to separate water and oxygen. And at that time, free radical is produced. And free radical break down to the pigment, to the small molecule. It's transparent. It's a mechanism to bleaching. So as I told you, the hydrogen peroxide is not stable. So if hydrogen peroxide already react before application, it doesn't work. So because why? We must keep acidic condition. We must put the acid to the hydrogen peroxide for stable. But if stable, if we put to the surface, it doesn't work because it's stable, no reaction. So because why? We must put some pH conditioner just before using to the neutralize. It's very important. So we have a many years of research collaboration. During this, so there are so many pH conditioners, but only sodium hydrogen carbonate work out very well. So because why? Company employ this sodium hydrogen carbonate as a pH conditioner. It's a kind of key component of this material. It's a patented in Japan. So I told you we have more than 10 years we have a research collaboration with White Essence company, and we found sodium hydrogen peroxide is the best material as a pH conditioner. And White Essence company employ it, use it. So we tested first it's a stained paper, stained by hematochrome. It's different from teeth, but it's easy and very sensitive. So because why we tested this paper, and we tested several pH conditioners such as sodium hydroxide or sodium hydrogen carbonate, sodium carbonate. The sodium hydrogen peroxide shows the best result. Also, it's a graph, it's the same result. And also, we tested the extracted bovine teeth because it's difficult to collect human teeth, especially intact incisor. It's impossible. So, because why sometimes we use bovine teeth, stained with black teeth, and this is the result. We at that time we repeated 10 times, and each time we measure the color by color meter. So graph is results. So vertical is the L star. L star means lightness. So higher lightness means higher bleaching effect, higher whitening effect. So difference is very small, but we found statistical difference, and not so big because teeth sample is sensitivity is a little low. So because it's valid. So in Japan, registration of bleaching material, whitening material is very strictly controlled by government. So only 5 products are available. The Shofu Highlight by Shofu, Pyrenees, Nishijie Morita, Tironi Office, GC, Opal Essence Boost, Ultra Japan, and White Essence Whitening for White Essence. So you may know the famous Japanese company Shofu or J Morita or GC, but they do not export now. And Ultra Japan is a group company of Ultranet. But Operations Boost is different from Operations Boost 40% here. Because this one is the Operations Boost 35%, but that's before mixing. After mixing, it will be 23%. Now, I heard Operations 40% here is before, after mixing. So concentration is quite different. And also the Japan recommend to use whitening rate, bleaching rate. It's quite different from maybe here. Anyhow, 4 products are not exported. Only White Essence Whitening Pro start to export to Vietnam, Mongolia, also here in Indonesia. So the Operation Boost of 40%, Zoom or Polar quite popular in Indonesia or around the world. But it's not available. They are not available in Japan. But we get them and compare them with White Essence Whitening Pro. So White Essence Whitening Pro, as I told you, the hydrogen peroxide concentration after mixing is 22%. Not so high, not so low. Operations Boost 40%, of course, 40% after mixing. Zoom content 25, almost same as the White Essence Whitening Pro. And Polars, there are many products, but the typical products contain 37%. And the application time is White Essence Whitening Pro 10 minutes with light exposure. And the Operations Boost to 20 minutes, a little bit longer time, but without light exposure. Zoom, it takes 15 minutes with light exposure, and Polar, 8 minutes, basically no exposure, but the light exposure is optional. So the White Essence company measures real concentration. So as for products are a bit different from the data sheet. That point, maybe, sorry. I'm sorry. Also, I heard here Flash is quite popular, but I have no data. I didn't evaluate. And the White Essence company measures the real hydrogen peroxide concentration. The 3 products are a little bit different from the data sheet, and white essence product well controlled. And pH, white essence whitening pro is 9.0, and opalescence boost and polar is almost 7, neutral. But the zoom is 4.3. So you may know the critical point of critical pH of the enamel. All of the dentists know the around 5.5. So 4.3 may decalcify the enamel surface. We worry about it. So we tested the 4 products according to the manufacturer's instructions. So because why exposure time is different and light exposure also different. It means white essence whitening pro with light 10 minutes, opalescence boost no light for 20 minutes. Zoom use their original light for 15 minutes. And polar, at that time I chose no light for 8 minutes. And we tested using extracted bovine stained with black tea. It's a typical change. We tested 3 times. Every bleaching material turned to whiter and whiter and whiter, increasing the whitening cycles. It's a graph. So white essence whitening pro, opalescence boost, and zoom are almost same comparatively. Unfortunately, only polar is not so good. Maybe reason, maybe the result right. Also, the application time is just 8 minutes. Maybe just it's a reason. So we compare the temperature. The zoom light is very high, and the whitest W light clustered by whitest company is 33 to 38 degree, not so high. Temperature maybe affects sensitivity or pain. Especially the high temperature, easy to cause pain or sensitivity. We must be careful. If we do not use light, it's ideal, but it's necessary. Sometimes it's necessary to acceleration, but the suitable temperature and suitable time. And concentration is also concerning problem. So polar or opalescence boost is a relatively high concentration of hydrogen peroxide, and white essence is a little bit lower. Generally, high concentration is easy to cause sensitivity and pain. Of course, there are many factors, but if we get the same result, lower concentration, it must be better. And, as I told you, at that test, I tested according to the manufacturer's instructions, so with or without light, or also application time is different. So because horizontal line is changed from the cycles to the minute. So if change to minute time, the white essence whitening pro slightly better than other products. There are no statistical difference, but it looks a little bit better, at least more than comparable. Also, there are some discussion of the isolation. Of course, isolation is important. As I told you, 22% of whitening essence whitening pro, not so high, but not so low. Even the 22%, if touched to the soft tissues, of course, it's irritated. So because isolation is necessary. And the white essence company, Vaseline is possible instead of protective resin or Ramadan. Even the resin, protective resin or Ramadan, still we have sometimes leaking to the soft tissue maybe occur. Not perfect because we do not use adhesive, of course. So because it's a chance to leak to the soft tissues. So because why usually even in the isolation with rubber, we must keep 1 millimeter, more than 1 millimeter distance from the margin to the margin. So also the baseline, of course, not protect perfect. It's as well as a rubber gum or protecting resin. So any method, we must be careful about it. So gum protection is essential, but it takes a long time. It's a big problem of us. So because of why, as I told you, why this company is has a franchise business, it means education of staff is very important. So daily meeting or often exercise training for the protection. It's very, very important. So I would like to summarize. Tooth whitening will contribute to preventive dentistry and it can extend as an aesthetic treatment. It is important to know the characteristics and mechanism of tooth whitening to select the best products. Well-trained noble staff is essential for providing high-quality tooth whitening. So, if my lecture is useful, I'm very happy. Thank you very much for kind attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Otsuki. Tadi Mr. Otsuki udah presentasi ya dokter-dokter. Jika ada pertanyaan, boleh dokter, ada yang mau ditanyakan? Boleh?
Indonesia aja ya, bahasa Indonesia aja ya. Tadi kan sudah dijelaskan kalau untuk yang whitening ini pakainya kan 10 menit ya penyinarannya ya. Kalau yang lainnya kan ada yang 20, ada yang 15. Nah terus di grafiknya itu kan ditunjukkan semakin banyak yang nomor sampai 10 kan tadi ya. Itu maksudnya kalau misalnya warna yang dihasilkan belum sesuai keinginan, berarti boleh sampai 10 kali aplikasi itu. Maksudnya gimana itu tadi?
Professor Otsuki, about the graphic for using, can you switch to the graphic first, Mr. Rio? Yeah. The graphics of application of the whitening, the white essence.
Yeah, I saw the graphic about the how many times you can applicate the whitening, and every time is 10 minutes. But I saw the number until 10 times. Is it possible to applicate 10 times to get the color that you want, or it's only about the comparison? So my question is, how many times I can applicate them to the tooth without give pain? Yeah, because how often I put the application of the whitening, of course the patient will get sensitivity tooth. That is more of my question.
Yes. Sensitivity and pain is very big concern about dentist and patient, of course. Basically, we must keep the indication of the manufacturer, usually 3 times one visit. But at that time, I evaluate almost 3 times, 3 times, 3 days, it's 9. So because why I tested up to 10 times, 3 times. And it depends on the patient. Some patients, only first applications, they feel some uncomfortable. But some patients do not show any pain or sensitivity. It's very valid. So because why we must be careful. But first, basically, we must keep the indication of the. But some difficult case, such as tetracycline stain case, at that time we explain well the possibility of pain and limited results. And if patient agree, I would increase the cycles sometimes. But basically we must keep. I think many products up to 3 times in one visit and repeating several times. So we must keep education. It is answer. No?
So you mean is in one visit is 3 times, but when it's we not get the color that we want, the next day we can make appointment, or we have to give 1 week or 2 weeks time in between.
It's a good question, but depends on the condition. But usually I keep more than 1 week. More than 1 week. It's no evidence, but from my experience, maybe not every day is not so good. I think because of one reason. Generally, of course, you experienced just before bleaching, and next day, shade is already changing. Maybe continue several days. So after that, we compound the result and we talk with patient. So because why? Maybe we keep more than 1 week. So that is another reason.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Professor Osika. I just want to add some more question from my colleague. In 1 year, how many times the patient can have applied this whitening essence? And for your experience, the tooth will how long the whitening can stay as it is in the teeth of your patient.
You mean time to the darker and darker?
Yeah, recurrent. Say it or the
Touch up.
yeah.
Okay, I understand. So it's of course it's varied by the patient. If maintenance is very good, sometimes it keep 2 or 3 years. But some patient 1 year a little bit darker and darker. And I heard maybe some I forgot maybe Western country of regulation 3 years. But sometimes a patient want much more shorter. So it's depend on the patient and depend on the demand of the patient. But ideally, we ask the patient every 6 months, sometimes every 3 months, or at least every year. So at that time, sometimes tooth cleaning is enough, but sometimes touch up is necessary. It depends on patient, but every 3 months is, I think, very short. But some severe patients sometimes 6 months, but usually 1 year, I think. 3 years are a bit long, I think. It depends on the patient.
Good morning, doctor. Thank you for the great presentation. I want to ask, if I am not mistaken, you not use gingival barrier. You just use Vaseline. Is it right?
Company suggest Vaseline is possible. Sometimes I use Vaseline, and sometimes use protective resin. Sometimes it's very difficult to isolate. At that time, I do not use rubber dam because rubber dam it's difficult to apply up and lower at the same time. So because sometimes resin, protective resin, but sometimes I only use Vaseline. And not only white essence product, I use another product. So another product recommend protective resin. At that time I use it. But at least the white essence company suggests only Vaseline is possible. A little different from my idea and suggestion of the white essence company.
Maksudnya apa itu? Streaming live. Oh, ada yang nonton 2.
First, I want to ask, maybe it's different in here and in Japan. In here, whitening is considered as an aesthetic procedure, so the insurance cannot cover it, so it's caused by privately by the patient. So how is it in Japan? That's the first question. Can I ask 2 questions? The second question is, after we mix the base and the catalyst, how long would it still be active to use? And then the storage of the other product, how can we store it to use it later?
It's a good question. Also, very good question. One is health insurance. So all of the Japanese people are covered with national health insurance. They only have to pay 30% of charge. And also the company, government controls the charge. So because why the dental service can be received is very cheap. It's good for the patient, but for the dentist, of course. But except the implant or ceramic restoration and tooth bleaching are also orthodontic treatment. Generally out of the insurance because why it's a little bit expensive. It's okay. So, and next question is storage of mixed gel. So, I think white essence company, it's a fast one-time meeting, and so 1 hour or 2 hours is okay. But they don't recommend keep after mixing. They don't recommend to keep in the refrigerator for next time. Some products, I remember, I don't know the international, but Ultradent Japan allows almost 30 days, 1 month to keep the refrigerator. I don't know the international market, but I worry about the contamination. So because of that, I don't recommend, and the company do not recommend more than 1 day. Use an easy side. Before mixing, we must keep the refrigerator. Room temperature is different other products. Some products must keep in the refrigerator.
If we choose to keep it in the refrigerator.
Apaan?
Should we wait for some time, maybe like 30 minutes to cool it down? So yeah, to bring the same temperature as the room temperature or how?
I think
Kalau yang
room
posting guys,
temperature reaction is very slow. So that's why we need a room temperature. We can't do a room temperature is necessary because if we can keep room temperature, it must be some advantage. I think.
Berarti tadi itu kalau opening penanya itu bisa di kulkas. Tapi kalau misalnya kita ruangannya berdasi sudah udah cukup ya. Tapi kalau misalnya kita taruh di kulkas, mungkin kalau sebelum memakai kita harus turun jadi untuk temperatur kita keluarin dulu gitu, baru kita pakai.
Iya.
May I ask questions? In this white essence, using the white essence with the LED. Can you replace the white LED, the LED with laser? Maybe some doctor already get laser or not? And the second question is, what is the function of the pH conditioner in this white essence? Thank you so much. The pH conditioner, the sodium hydrogen carbonate. Yes, after mixing.
So first question is
Can we replace with the laser light?
so he asked about whitening light. So some publishers using a laser, but I do not recommend strongly because generally laser is very strong, high intensity, but the high intensity is not necessary for source bleaching. And also the one of the characteristics of laser is very high focusing. Very high focusing. But tooth bleaching is not necessary. We need a broad light, but it's very difficult to grow on the laser. It's possible, but difficult. And another reason is laser is very, very expensive. So because even in Japan, some dentists illegally use laser, but it's a kind of, they want some differentiation in something new, like a competition. So because why sometimes dentists want something new, but I do not recommend the laser. And also, WLAN class 2, not so special, but it's customized for the suitably customized for the water sense water machine. One is intensity, not so strong, not so